her, trying to get her to do things, her not doing things at the same time, still feeling like, that's your mother, and you still want to, be nice to her and not have to be, I guess, mean, or, like, you don't want to come across like ungrateful, for all the things she's done for you. This is really, in my eyes, my way of showing my most gratitude, because I'm trying to help you even if you don't realize that you need that help. And I'm willing to kind of sacrifice stuff for the greater good. And I'm not sure if she sees that, you know. Only person I know that kind of understands it is my sister. So we have these, conversations back and forth about it. But we have the same issue and the same feelings about stuff, and the same concerns about trying to get my mother on, to do these things.
So it sounds like you're still a little worried if your if your mother is really going to make that consistent push to make that move, and you want to find out some type of way to actually to be sure and confident that she would make that move for herself.
Yeah, because ultimately what would happen is, if she makes the move, then it's like this 3-year ordeal is over, right? On some aspects. There's going to be some underlying things from it that will have to be handled, like her lack of ability to articulate things, because she likes to shut down when we kind of confront her. And that's something that's, going to be something you have to deal with even after she moves, or not. But I guess my concern is that if she doesn't move, right, or like she gets this hope up and she doesn't do it, it's like you become even more defeated in this kind of endeavor, because just when you thought it was, going somewhere, it gets deflated, and then you have even less hope about something changing, because you felt like you were closer to the finish line than you were before, only to have somebody pick you up and take you back to the starting line, And so it's that, I guess it's that fear of like, if that happens, what's the next move? Because I'm out of moves, I don't really know what can be done. And then like, how does that take a toll on everything else?
I wonder when was the last time, or when maybe will be the next time that you'll actually physically see your mother.
Next time I'll see her, barring anything unfortunate or crazy, right? I will see her in November, when my sister gets married. So that'll be kind of an interesting thing, because you don't want to have to sully an event with kind of underlying issues or stuff like that, because it's a joyous, situation.
Of course.
So you want to enjoy that, because it's such one for everybody involved. That'll be the next time I see her, and that's in November. That's months from now. So even then, there's an adequate amount of time for change to be made. So with change not being made by that time, it's just more aggravating.
So with the time leading up to November with your sister's wedding, you feeling somewhat anxious about actually physically being there to speak with your mother, and not actually going into that subject, but actually have a conversation face to face with your mother, and everything would be copacetic as far as the content in the conversation.
I mean, I think I'm more. I mean, I'm concerned more about the content of the conversation. Like the pros of being there, and if I have to have this conversation with her, is that I can gauge a little bit more because I can see her. I can kind of gauge more of her reactions to things. So maybe there's something subtly or body language I can pick up to maybe help put a reason to what's going on. And also, it's a face-to-face thing, so it's not like you can be like, oh, I have to go, I have to, speak to so-and-so, or I have to go do something. So there's not that easy out. So that means that more difficult conversations can be had. But at the same time, I just don't want to have that at that kind of time, because there's bigger things going on, and it's just that just adds on to the time frame. Then we're talking about maybe almost going on 4 years that we've been trying to, have a resolution for the situation. So it's more about, I think it's just perpetual concern about this never really coming to a close and always just being open and always wanting to fight for it, even though the years and experience shows that to be futile, or futile, everyone use that word. And just being like, feeling like your hands are tied to a situation and you really can't do anything. And you tried, you've exhausted all options.
So you're anxious to actually have that face-to-face conversation with your mother, and hopefully by that time in November, you would like to have something settled as far as her making a decision to leave by your sister's wedding.
Yeah, not necessarily the decision to leave, because she's claimed that decision to leave, but to have actually left
Okay.
or have actually solidified where she's going. That's the concern, because the talk is that she will leave and she wants to, but the actions don't match the words. So somewhere between the words and the actions, there's this rift, or this bridge that we're trying to close that gap to understand and, get her to get to the action, but we can't. I mean, I don't know what to do, about it.
Okay. Let's focus on you for a second. What do you think that you can maybe do that can, at this point, at this moment, you've already stated that your mother has made somewhat type of steps towards actually making that move rather than considering moving. What do you think that you could possibly do to actually make that process a little more easier for yourself, your family, and your mother?
I don't know. I mean, I offer myself, like I told her before, if it's an issue about the manual work of moving things, I'll take time off for work and I'll fly up there and I'll move stuff, right? That's how dedicated I am to this. I mean, I think it's really hard to figure out what you can do when you're hundreds of miles away. So that's kind of like a difficult thing. I mean, only thing I can think of is communication, but I'm not really sure how I can. I mean, I know how I can be better at communicating, perhaps. Maybe I have to get rid of this notion of having to be so, what's the word I'm looking for? So, solution focused with her about, getting this done, and being more just working on the relationship in its entirety and maybe springing action up from that. But the concern for me is that, if you already are comfortable, well, not comfortable, but not uncomfortable enough to move like how you need to, this might just reinforce that thing for you, because you won't feel like I'm breathing down your neck about, getting something done or whatever. So it's like, I guess it's a risk for me to kind of go that route, because I can see it kind of working in my favor or against me, and I don't really know which way it's gonna go. So.
But it seems like at this point you're still a little on the fence about how comfortable your mother might be with making this decision as soon as possible. So, let's say we'll repeat the homework from last time as far as getting in contact with your mother and trying to have somewhat conversation, and it might not even have to be about her moving or any of the other things that might go on that may get her to get off the phone with you or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to call me and just tell me how that conversation went. Hopefully it is before you actually get to see her face to face.
Yeah.
But I would like for you to do that, man. For you to let us talk about that next time that happens.